If your ads used to bring in clients consistently, but they've slowly stopped performing, I want to give you the exact step-by-step process that we use to fix that. And then you can actually start testing that today with just a £5 ad. If you allow me about 7 minutes, because I can walk you through exactly why your ads stopped working and the exact framework we use to get them converting again. And without increasing your budget or changing your offer or starting again from scratch. So if you want this, I've put everything together for you. Just drop the word start below this video and I can send you these frameworks. It'll make it so easy for you. You can just fill in the blanks and you're going to know exactly what you're actually saying today. For those who don't know me, I'm Tina from tinasanford.com. I've been working with online businesses since 2019 and I've been helping them to revive cold leads and turn underperforming funnels into high converting assets without rebuilding again from scratch or having to hire another agency. But what I'm about to share with you is the exact process that we use with every client who comes to us whose ads have gone cold. Now here's the problem, and I actually want to be direct about this. If you have already tried refreshing your creative, adjusting your targeting, increasing your budget, or bringing in someone new to manage your ads, and none of it has moved the needle right now, then the problem is almost certainly not in any of those places. It's very likely the problem's in your ad copy, and it's very likely that it's because it's answering only one question right now. And at the moment, ideal clients tend to be asking several different ones in their buying journey. And let me explain what I mean by that. Think about this. Think about it for yourself as well. When somebody first encounters your brand, usually these days the question sitting in their head is simply, who is this and how can they help me? Can I trust them? But after they've seen your ads a few times, if you become a bit more familiar and like you haven't acted, they have moved forward in their thinking. Now they're asking, okay, but how do I know if this will actually work for me? And then a little bit further along in the journey, then asking, okay, what makes this different from anybody else's stuff that's already out there or something else I've tried in the past? And then even further along, they get to the point where they've seen you enough times, they go, yeah, I really like the idea of this. But they're going in their heads like, what happens if I reach out? What actually is going to happen? So you can imagine if your ads are only answering the first question, they almost could become invisible to everyone else who's moved past that first question. And then what happens is Facebook sees that engagement is dropping, and then they decide that your ads are less relevant to people. And on the back of that, it starts charging you more to show them to fewer people. So your ad costs go up, your results go down, and the ads that used to work just kind of sit there burning your budget. And that's what ad fatigue is. It's got nothing to do with your audience getting bored of your face or your images though. It's actually about your messaging kind of staying still where your audience is moving forward on their journey right now. So I want to share with you exactly how you can fix it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is, this one can be tricky to some people, but you just write down 5 specific questions that you know your ideal clients ask themselves as they move from first seeing your brand to actually booking in a call with you. And I'm not talking about generic questions. We're talking about the real ones for your ideal clients. Things like, will this work for my specific situation? How long before I see results with this? And what makes this different from the last thing I tried? You want to answer those questions. Now, if you're not sure what those questions actually are for your ideal clients, just go through the last 5 sales calls and conversations that you had. And then you can go through the different hesitations or concerns that came up, and you can find your best 5 questions from that. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to write an ad for each of those individual questions. Each ad has one job to answer, and you want to make it a single question and make it as clearly as possible and specific as possible for the person who's asking it right down that point. So don't think about one ad doing 5 jobs on 3 points. One question answered really thoroughly and honestly in plain language that your ideal client would actually use for themselves. Okay, this is what we call the starting 5 ads. Now, each is speaking to a different stage of your client's thinking, and you've got to think about each one doing that job for itself exceptionally well for each stage, okay? The next thing you want to do, just set up all 5 ads inside one single campaign. Now, this is the part that most people seem to get wrong these days, and it's also the part that's actually making the biggest difference. And when all 5 ads are sitting inside one campaign, Facebook's clever little algorithm can see which message is resonating with which person at the moment that it needs to, and it can serve each ad accordingly at the right time. And the campaign itself gets smarter every single day too. So what then happens is your costs start dropping because your ads are suddenly relevant again to the people at every single stage in that audience. And then your calendar starts filling up with people who've probably been warmed up by the right message at the right time. So they already know you, they already trust you, they already know what to expect. Can you imagine? You can start with a £5 per day per budget. And that is generally all you need to actually start by feeding the algorithm the right signals and to actually verify for yourself whether this is working before you spend any more. But the reason this all works is because you think about this, you're no longer running just one message and hoping it lands with everybody. You're actually running a kind of like a conversation that evolves as your ideal clients evolve. And then when your messaging actually matches where somebody actually is in their thinking and their journey, they don't actually experience it as an ad. They actually experience it as somebody who actually understands them, like a brand that understands them or a person who understands them. And then it's that feeling that moves people from being curious to committed to being booked because they trust you. Now, if you want these frameworks, I have them right here. You can have them. I don't want your email, okay? Just drop the word start below and I can send these over to you, okay? And that'll make building your starting 5 straightforward. You can fill in the blanks. And you're going to know exactly what to say for each of your 5 ads today. And you can get it set up in the campaigns.